Hello and welcome to Geek Speak with Envision IT, a podcast for business leaders and technology experts that like to stay on top of the latest security news and listen to interviews with insightful industry leaders. I'm Bill Crane, Chief Stakeholder Architect and CTO at Envision IT. Let's get started. I'd like to welcome Bo Smith back. He's the Chief Stakeholder Strategist here at Envision IT. Today we want to talk a little bit about cybersecurity insurance and why that's becoming so important. So welcome, Bo.
Yeah. Hey, Bill. Good to see you again. So we've seen, I would say over the last couple of years, a big uptick in security events. And I think the thing that is most prevalent that we're participating in and helping customers with is ransomware. Last year, almost 1,000 government agencies were compromised by ransomware. So this is a super prevalent thing. The FBI is trying to collect information on just how many cybersecurity events there are a year. And because there's thresholds for reporting to the FBI, they don't have the full picture. So they've been reaching out to insurance companies to figure out how many there are. But we're guessing there's tens of thousands, or if not more than 100,000 ransomware events to different organizations per year.
So their hope is people are reporting them to their insurance company, but maybe not publicly.
Exactly, because a lot of people don't want the negative publicity associated with some sort of compromise.
Sure.
And most business insurance policies exclude cyber events from the policy themselves. So you need a specific policy to deal with cybersecurity. And if you look at the cost of these ransomware events, typically these are highly sophisticated threat actors in foreign countries that go in, steal credentials, steal data, take down systems, encrypt it. And if you look at all of the costs that are associated with that, you have the cost to actually recover, which is probably consultants and maybe even hardware and all of these lost time things that you have to deal with, in addition to just your employees not being able to work largely. You've got costs for perhaps litigation attorneys if data was exfiltrated. You've got PR firms that you got to pay. You might have lost revenue for clients that don't want to do business with you, or just for the downtime, because it's usually at least days to recover from one of these events, thinking that you're resetting everyone's password and restoring every system from backup if you even can.
Right.
But oftentimes we've seen companies that take weeks or even months to fully recover. There are a couple instances last year where New Orleans was hit, and a month later they were still largely on paper for a lot of different processes. So it's a lot of downtime and really, really expensive. And in the absence of cybersecurity insurance, there's really just no other options. A lot of times companies that don't have it will actually go under and cease to do operations, either because they can't afford to recover or the lost revenue is just too great.
Right. Quite the shame. Is there any, is it primarily just working with your current provider and seeing what they provide, or do you go to a specialized firm?
Yeah, so there are firms that specialize in cybersecurity insurance. So the insurers themselves tend to be specialists. But just going to your typical broker, they usually have some solutions for this, or can point you in the right direction. And I think one other thing that I'll say is getting one that has like a 24/7 emergency response offering for a forensic firm can be very, very helpful. Most of these threat actors will execute middle of the night, largely because it's middle of the day overseas. But also because it's very difficult to detect and it can permeate farther in the middle of the night. So, when you do recognize that, if it's, a Saturday or Sunday morning, you want to be able to call someone. And that forensic firm is going to be very, very important in sort of limiting damage going forward. Not only will they have really good recommendations for how to securely recover, but then there's this, in ransomware, there's this assumption that data has been breached unless you're able to prove otherwise. So all of the costs associated with the data breach just can be exponential in nature. If you look at, if personal information is lost, et cetera, just the class action lawsuits that can be associated with that become enormous. And those forensic companies can help you prove reasonably that no data was exfiltrated. And that can save a lot of time, money, and PR problems down the road.
Yeah, that's a good tip. So it's probably safe to say that number one, get some cyber insurance. But then if there is an incident, that's probably one of the first places you're going to call.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna help you through it. And the cyber security response number can also set you up with attorneys. They typically have a network of attorneys that can kind of guide the efforts of the forensic firm to make sure that every action that you take from that moment forward, it's going to be under a microscope. So just dealing with professionals that have done this before can be incredibly helpful.
Right. Yeah. Great. Well, this is a great topic. I know it's on a lot of people's minds. So thanks a lot for giving us some information.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions or you have future topics you'd like us to cover, please connect with us via the link in the show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Geek Speak with Envision IT.